Hey there, music fans and lovers of vinyl. You've tuned into just the right episode of Full Record Jacket because it's time for me to ask the question, what's Ben been buying?
Oh, I love it when you sing to me, Phil.
What have you been buying, Ben?
I've been buying some vinyl, Phil, because I am an addict and I can't help it. But I'm going to start off with a couple that you may have heard of, and you may be able to tell me something about them and whether I've made the right choice in purchasing them because I don't know much about this. Now, the first one up, I got it yesterday. I was in Rugby's local record shop. I was in there yesterday. Go check it out for the record. Down the little paradey bit. Go in there. There's tons of stuff in there. And anyway, I bought something that you will be proud of me for buying. And it was only £1. So I thought I had £1 in my pocket. I bought 2 albums. I had £6 on me and I bought 2 albums for £6. So you can't complain at that. So I've got a bit of a problem with this album because I've tried finding it on Discogs and I've put the issue number in and it comes up with a 6-disc vinyl box set, which this isn't. So it's a bit of an anomaly and I can't find it anywhere, but it is the Sinatra Touch.
Okay.
It's I don't know anything about it. I haven't even got a year of release, but it's really weird because it's obviously an EMI release, as it shows down there.
Okay, so we know when we'll know the time frame of the recordings then. If it's
So
an
that
EMI release.
says the Sinatra Touch.
Yeah.
But the album
Never
itself,
heard of this compilation.
the album itself is
Yeah.
Capitol.
Yeah, it would be the US Capitol
EMI,
recordings.
but
Yeah.
it's actually called The Essential Sinatra, it says on there.
On the
Same
label.
track listing. So
Okay.
it's a little bit of an anomaly. Same issue code, SM471, but like I said, I can't find it. I can't find it anywhere. It's £1, but it's a mystery for £1. It's a
I've never heard of that compilation. There've been many. Is it on the MFP label, the Music for Pleasure budget label from EMI? Is it on one of their labels? Is it MFP anywhere? But it's got a Capitol label on the record, which is interesting.
Yeah, it says Capitol, a Capitol Recordings Incorporative. It just says doesn't have EMI on the record, just Capitol.
Well, he recorded for Capitol in the US for most of the 50s, from 50, when did he sign with them? 53 through to early 60s. And obviously they were Capitol as part of the same group as EMI. So
yeah.
EMI had the rights to release it in the UK. So there's been a lot of Sinatra compilations over the decades, which have come out on EMI labels in the UK, but they are the Capitol recordings. Is that just like a greatest hits? Is it well-known songs? Is it You Make Me Feel So Young and I've Got You Under My Skin and
It has
Witchcraft and Love and Marriage? Is it all those big?
No, it has. Side one is My Lean Baby.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Hey Jealous Lover.
Early Capitol, yeah.
From Here to Eternity, Melody of Love, Wrap Your Troubles in Dreams, All the Way, If I Had You, and 3 Coins in the Fountain.
Yeah.
And side B is Swinging Down the Lane, It Happened in Monterey, The Impatient Years, I Love You, Sunday, Your Love for Me, The Gal That Got Away, and Day by Day.
So it's bits of it's literally singles and album tracks from across Capitol years.
Yeah. So
a grab bag of Capitol recordings.
It's a grab bag of Capitol for £1.
You can't beat it,
can you?
Right.
So that was one of them, and then the other one I picked up. I've got one of his solo albums, and I've got another solo album which is on CD, and it's the one he does, the first one he did with Alison Krauss, but it is Robert Plant, Shaken and Stirred, or whatever it's called. Shaken and Stirred from 1985, which
I've not heard it.
I mean, you can't go wrong with Robert Plant, but I
Well,
can't imagine
vocally, you can't go wrong with him. But I think in the 80s he did do some stuff that was a little bit,
Dross.
a little bit 80s rock. You know what I mean? He went a little bit that way, I think.
Yeah, a little bit synth.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah.
That sort of thing that was big, you know, that sort of rock that was big on American radio in the
yeah.
I think that's probably what it will be like, but I haven't actually heard that album.
Yeah, so that's in there. Anyway, next up, I think I mentioned this one before. I think I did, didn't I? I think I bought that one up before. Look at Me Now by Lorenz Zambique.
He looks familiar, yeah.
He does look familiar. So I'm going to move on from that one. Next up is something completely left field for me, Philster, because I am very left field anyway, but I'm right-handed. It's a little bit of Spanish post-punk rock. And like a magpie, I'm attracted by bright, shiny, twinkly things. And I really like the album cover. And it's this album here, Un Puno Ambale by Victorias.
It's kind of groovy. Yeah.
It is kind of groovy. It's all in Spanish. Ardena Caseta Sevilla, Tiquero on Vasco, Fin de Fiesta, Macheta. There's a song on here called Scotio Chrissy Waddle.
Does that mean hot Chris Waddle?
That means that was a fast show.
Oh, okay. Was that a reference to a comedy show that I've
never watched? Oh, what? Where were you in the 90s?
I have seen the Fast Show, but I don't remember that. I remember the jazz one and the Taylor one. I remember the Taylor one and the jazz one, but I don't. What was that?
And the guy in the shed. This week I have mainly been wearing bourbon biscuits.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
But anyway, next up, Philster, is probably a trio from New York, from Brooklyn. I don't know what the best way to describe them is, but indie rock. We go indie rock, and it is a band called Sunflower Bean and Head Full of Sugar. You can see that?
Yeah, I don't know them at all.
Don't know them, but I've listened, obviously, before I buy these now, because I do listen to a couple of tracks. I did like what I heard. I was expecting it to sort of, because it's a female, I thought in my head it might be a little bit blondie, but
show us the front cover again, because I did think that could have been a Debbie Harry or a Blondie album cover, couldn't it? Or
could have been definitely a Deborah Harry solo album cover. There's very much a Deborah Harry sort of look with the bobbed hair, etc. there, isn't there?
Yeah.
So I think this was released last year. I'm sure it's in 2022, released on Lucky Numbers. So I've got that one in the bag. Next up, Philster, I have gone left field again, and I have gone for some punk. I don't know, punk post indie rock, and they are Scandinavian. I think they're Norwegian. Could be wrong, but they're called. Now you have to excuse my pronunciation because I'm not very good at Nordic. Grower. But another good album cover. Look at that album cover. It's very sort of, I was going to say Talking Heads, but it's a cool album. But it's, I'm not overly sure. The back is pretty cool, like this pencil drawing here. I do love a little bit of cool artwork. It does.
It's cool, yeah.
There is a few track titles on here which are in English, Flute Paradise, Friend Love. There is some that is in Swedish or Danish, or it might be Danish because the guy who's mixed it is called Mar Johansson. And Johansson's quite a Danish-y name, is it? I think.
It can be. Johansson is Scandinavian origin.
Yeah. So we'll Yeah, well, we'll see. I've listened to a couple of tracks. I like what I heard, hence why I bought it. So that's next on the list. And then next up as well, I've gone a bit folk world country feel. So I've kind of gone from one extreme from the other. And she is a Brooklyn-born Haitian American flutist and vocalist. So if you want something to pull on in the background, just to chill out to, a nice vocal. Once again, excuse my pronunciation, but her name is Nathalie Joachim, and the album is called Ki Maun U Yi. So
she's flaunting her fluting.
She's got her flutes out, and she plays flute, alto flute. What's an alto flute?
That's obviously the high end of the high notes, like the alto saxes.
Yes, yeah.
So that sounds like it might be. I don't know. It might be. I think I might prefer a lower end flute, but I'm not going to knock it until I've heard it.
Don't we all love a lower end flute, Philster?
Maybe.
I'm taking. I don't know if excuse my ignorance, but the tracks there, the titles of.
She called Nathalie Joachim or something like that.
Joachim, yeah, or Joachim, because he used to be a player for Coventry, Julian Joachim, but it could be Joachim. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting listen. I thought I'd give it a go. The song titles must be in Haitian, I think. I'm presuming it's Haitian, but like I said, excuse my ignorance. It is not intentional that I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. It's just something I was born with. It's a talent. It's an X-Man talent, Phil. So, but anyway, now this next one up is by a guy called Trey Burt, and the album is called Traffic Fiction. Now, if I showed you that, what is your instant thinking of what genre that's going to be?
I would say that it was going to be some kind of American arty guitar band. That's what I'm thinking.
See, I would have looked at that and thought hip hop.
Well, maybe, yeah. Well, yeah. Okay, well, only I can't see who that is on the bed very clearly.
There's your main man there.
Oh, well, yeah. In that case, if I was, you could racially stereotype it and say perhaps he's a rapper, more likely to be a rapper. So
because in that he's smoking, which I don't know what it is.
Yeah, okay. Because
it's
of the guy,
fact, he's
like
in a
rapper.
Bed.
Then,
he's in a bed and it's got.
Let's say hip hop.
Yeah. So I naturally thought it's going to be hip hop, but it's actually folk world country. Okay. It's actually a really nice album. It's a really, really good.
Well, that's closer to what I.
It is closer. To what you were closer, to be fair. And but my first initial thought when I saw it was, oh, it's going to be a hip hop album, or that sort of,
Yeah.
But the when I listened to it on the Tube Review Music, it's actually a really nice, clever album. So something different there. I've gone different. I've gone quite different here, haven't I, Philster?
That does look kind of cool.
It does, doesn't it?
You'll have to send me online or a little online links to these so I can have a quick.
Yes, have a listen. Have a
digital listen.
I can't remember if I got this one out in the last batch. In fact, I can't remember if I got these last two out. I know I didn't get one of them out because I didn't have it. But did I get this out? It's the self-titled album by Marcus Mumford.
You talked about it briefly.
I know I talked about it. But anyway, I bought it. I'm not a massive Mumford and Sons song. There is one song that me and my dad used to sing a lot in the car, in my van. And I thought, I do like giving somebody who stepped away from a band to do a solo. I do like giving their solo stuff.
He's not the one who got kicked out of the band because he dared to have the wrong political opinions, or was that somebody else?
That was somebody else.
That was somebody else. He's the lead singer, is he?
He is, the lead singer. And then last but not least, we talked about it on last week's video, which hasn't been released yet, but when it does get released, this will make more sense. But we chose our 3-track takeaways from it, and it is U2's All That You Can't Leave Behind.
Although I did kind of leave that album behind, I must confess.
Yes, you
Because
did.
I don't listen to it. I don't listen to it that much. But
yeah, well, I've bought it, so I shall be listening to it. He says, with all these behind him still to be listened to. So, yeah, that's what I've purchased over the last couple of weeks, Phil. So I've gone for an eclectic mix.
we need to put the list in the description if we remember to do that.
Yeah.
If we haven't remembered to do that, then write a comment below saying, Phil and Ben, you haven't remembered to put the links to the records in the description.
We should do really, because the majority of these artists here, especially sort of like Frank Sinatra and Trey Burr, then they probably don't get a lot of people. I mean, who's ever heard of Frank Sinatra? He probably needs a little career boost. And if we can send a handful of people towards them, then we're helping music grow, Philster.
Exactly. Well, I think everybody should listen to Frank Sinatra anyway, but I would like to check out some of those weird ones as well.
We shall do that. We shall put some links in the description next to that subscribe button that you can hit if you haven't already. If you've got this far in, you must like what you've heard, mustn't you, Phil? So
join us for another episode in which we will further indulge Ben's vinyl consumption addiction. But until then, thanks for watching.